Okay, chapter 50 to chapter 54 of Life of Pi we're going to do today. And once again, I'm just going to go through a short little summary and analysis. So chapter 50, Pi goes about describing the lifeboat that he's in. And then he says it's like made to seat about 30-something people. But with just a hyena, Richard Parker and himself, it's already very crowded. And then he notes that orange is the color of survival. And he says because all the significant objects that helped him survive are like orange. So the whistles, life jackets, life buoy, and boat. Even the lifeboat is orange. And also Richard Parker being a tiger is orange. So I think that's something that you must remember as well. But yeah, so basically he just goes on to say that like orange is the color of survival, and that's what he associates with survival, because you'll see what he uses the whistle for and what the life jackets get used for and all those types of things. Okay, and then he says he didn't really notice everything about the lifeboat, but more details came like evident to him with necessity. So it goes hand in hand with that. The more you look, the more you see things. Okay, chapter 51, sorry. Pi says he finds water, but in like a little hatch in the boat. And he says, but there's no can opener. And then he opens it in one of the tarpaulin hooks. So the tarpaulin is like that cover that goes over the boat. And you like hook it. Like, I don't know if any of you guys have seen maybe at a public swimming pool or whatever, but they have these like hooks where they hook covers over. Maybe not public, but if you look at swimming pools, you'll see those hooks as kind of something like that. And then Pi says he finds water and he drinks about 4 cans. And as he drinks, he throws the cans into the water, throws the cans into the water. Now, you got to understand that the reason I mention this is because he's out at sea in the Pacific Ocean where he's surrounded by water, but you can't drink the sea water because it's salty, so it will dry you out inside and it'll make you more thirsty. And, you know, so that's quite significant. Like, just remember that. It will come into play a little bit later. And then he says once he's done drinking, he finds these, like, biscuits. And he says he's hungry, so he eats them. And it's a pity that they have animal fat in them because he is a vegetarian. But then he says this vegetarian part of him will just have to make do with what there is. So this is the first sort of time you see where, because now he's a good vegetarian, where he actually throws this away for survival. So this will also come into play a little bit later. And then chapter 52 is just a list that he makes of everything in the boat. So he says like, da-da-da-da-da, one of this, 52 waters, for example. That's not the exact amount, please don't think that. But it's just a list. And then he ends it off by saying, 1 tiger, 1 god. And, you know, that type of thing. So he even accounts for Richard Parker, the hyena, and himself on the boat. Okay, chapter 53, he says he kind of came to the realization, like, hold on, I'm on a boat with a tiger and I will, like, not live if I carry on living like this. So he builds a raft to get away from Richard Parker. And he's glad that he does, because Richard Parker actually kills the hyena. Like, he gets agitated and he just says, and like so quickly he just kills the hyena. And then Richard Parker turns his attention to Pi, and then Pi says at that moment a rat came running out of nowhere, and Pi fell into the hatch where he got the water and things, and the rat came and stood on his head, and Richard Parker was looking directly at him, at his head, wanting the rat. So Pi just takes the rat and he throws it at Richard Parker, and Richard Parker eats the rat, and then Pi can quickly get onto his raft. But the reason why I put God in brackets next to rat is because this is like one of the little things where God helped him while he was at the Pacific Ocean, because God distracted Richard Parker with this rat so that Pi could live. So that's a little something that I think you must make a note of. And then chapter 54, Pi just basically talks about being on the lifeboat and how it was raining and he got cold the whole night. There was not a little part of him that stayed dry. All of him was wet. And then he devises a plan to kill Richie Parker. And it's quite a humorous little scene because he's like, okay, push him overboard. And then he's like, oh, but tigers can swim. So all Richie Parker will do is swim, get back on the boat, and then he'll like, you know, I'll never make it. So it's quite a humorous little scene. I'll let you read through that. I'll also link Micah Reader's channel in the description so that he can read it to you if you're not a big reader. But that's all you need to know for today, and thank you for watching.